If y'all don't know who this person is in this picture, her name is Yogananda or Yogananda Pittman. She was the black woman that was put into the position of acting Capitol Police Chief after what occurred on January 6th. And so many of us knew that when she got that position after what had happened, that something was a bit off about it. We said that it was most likely a setup, for her to take the fall should anything come down on top of them amid what happened over 2 weeks ago. And it's come out that it seems our assumptions were true, even though we didn't have to really assume. We kind of knew it was going to happen. And, unfortunately, a lot of black people, mainly a lot of black women, were praising her getting this position because, symbolism. And I said, don't celebrate too fast, because I think they're setting her up to take the fall. And sure enough, based on this article that I see on Politico that was put out on January 26, 2021, it looks like that's exactly what's going to happen. The article reads, "We did not do enough. Acting Capitol Police Chief apologizes for security failure." Just in that statement alone, you can already tell which way they're leaning with this. And notice she said we. She says we because she's including everybody in this, even though she wasn't, the police chief when this happened. They put her in that position after the fact, just so she could take the slings and arrows. But when in the back of their mind, they're not saying any kind of we, they're saying you. Because everything that falls will fall on her first before it falls on anybody else. The acting Capitol Police Chief on Tuesday apologized to Congress for the security failures at the complex the day of the deadly January 6th invasion, acknowledging in an extraordinary statement that the department failed to meet its own high standards as well as yours. During a closed-door briefing with the House Appropriations Committee, Yogananda D. Pittman, the acting head of the U.S. Capitol Police, said the department was outnamed and unprepared for the attack. She also admitted that a Capitol Police Board denied a request on January 4th for additional support from the National Guard. It wasn't until the building was overrun by a pro-Trump mob the panel relented an hour after another plea was made. "I am here to offer my sincerest apologies on behalf of the department," Pittman told members of the spending panel, which has jurisdiction over the agency's funding. Former Capitol Police Chief Stephen Sund, as well as 2 board members, resigned after the Capitol siege that left 5 people dead, including a Capitol Police officer. Now listen to that. They resigned. They resigned before slings and arrows could have came their way. They basically got out of the way and put her in position as a shield for her to take all the heat. This is why I don't like when I hear black women say they're the backbone of this and the backbone of that. Do you see what being the backbone will get you? Now she's taking all the heat. And she will continue to take that as long as she's in that position. And the thing is, now that they see that the heat is coming down on her, they're probably going to push to keep her there, and then remove acting from her title to just U.S. Capitol Police Chief. They'll probably throw more money her way or something like that, just to see if she'll stay. But notice the other ones, they resigned to get out of the way. They're not slick, but it's unfortunate so many of our people fell for their slickness. I saw the writing on the wall when they said it. When I saw it on Twitter, I didn't even get excited because I already knew what was about to happen. And we called it. Many of us on Twitter who saw that post called it back then what they were going to do. They were like, don't get too excited. They're setting her up to take the fall. And what's happening right now? The Senate and House Sergeant at Arms also stepped down from their posts in response to the security breaches. Pittman's testimony, which she delivered via video conference, was first reported by the New York Times. Timothy P. Blodgett, the acting House Sergeant at Arms, also told lawmakers that it was clear there was a failure of preparation. Whether it was insufficient or conflicting intelligence, lacking ability to translate that intelligence into action, insufficient preparation, or inadequate ability to mobilize partner agencies for immediate assistance, a series of events once thought unfathomable unfolded allowing our most sacred halls to be breached. The acting police chief, who described the siege as a terrorist attack, informed lawmakers that the department knew the protests had the potential to turn violent and that the Capitol was a target. We also knew that some of these participants were intending to bring firearms and other weapons to the event, Pittman told lawmakers. We knew that there would be a strong potential for violence and that Congress was the target. The department prepared in order to meet these challenges, but we did not do enough. See? Right there, she's out there basically telling them the failures of what they did. Now, mind you, this was before she was put in the position of acting U.S. Capitol Police Chief. Everything that she's saying should have came out of the mouths of the two that resigned. I'll repeat that again. Everything that she's saying out of her mouth in these statements should have came out of the mouths of the ones that resigned. But they got out of the way so they wouldn't have to take the heat and put her in that position so she could. Pittman also said the agency was simply outnumbered, noting they had just 1,200 sworn personnel working on site. No match for the tens of thousands of insurrectionists, many armed, attacking the Capitol and refusing to comply with lawful orders, she added. Now, Pittman says many officers who have been working around the clock to prepare for the inauguration are suffering from PTSD as well as battling the virus infections. The briefing marks the first time that officials have testified to Congress on the security breaches at the Capitol, though lawmakers have been briefed on ongoing threats to members in the complex. In the wake of the deadly invasion, lawmakers have called for a 9/11 style commission to investigate the mob attack, which includes examining the security failures that led to the deadly siege. We will have an after action review. There will be a commission, Speaker Nancy Pelosi said last week. Now, having said all of that, I say this with as much, I guess you can say, openness, but being blunt at the same time. To this woman right here, I know that she felt like, taking this position, that she felt like she was doing something extremely noble. But I have to say that it was really dumb for her to take this position. Like, I would like to want to say that she had to have known what could have occurred or what would have happened and the consequences of taking this position after such a major event happened. Like, she had to have known. Like, it's not like, I don't want to believe that they forced her to do this and that she voluntarily decided to do this. Because I don't even think she was could have been next in line to do this. I don't even know if she was actually qualified. Maybe she isn't, maybe she wasn't. I don't really know her backstory like that. But at the same time, she is the sacrificial lamb, and she allowed herself to be that. Unfortunately. But like I said, you had a lot of people trying to applaud this. This was nothing to applaud. And I hope all the ones who were applauding stopped, because many of us told y'all what was about to happen, and it's happening now. I didn't even know that the other ones had just resigned until I read this article. But now reading it, it makes sense. Like, if they didn't resign, well, how was she able to get in that position? But like I said, they're probably going to take acting off of her title, and they're going to make it her a standard and keep her there as long as they possibly can. It's messed up either way. That's for damn sure. But don't accept every trinket that they give you. Remember when I keep talking about nigger trinkets? This is another example of that. You don't have to accept every single thing that they give you. But you live and you learn. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Make sure you text that number that is pinned down below in the comments to receive notifications every time I upload a new video. And I will talk to you in the next one.